My name is Yaron, and I'm from the Survey of Israel. Now, I was about to say that we are an old agency, but after the presentation of the city of Jerusalem, we're pretty young. I mean, there are 3,000 or 4,000 years. We were established in 1920, and we were established by the British Mandate. We have about 250 employees, and our shrinking budget is about $20 million. We are responsible. We are the governmental agency for cadastre, geodesy, mapping, and GIS. We have a research branch, and we certified licensed surveyors in Israel. And I'm going to focus mainly on the mapping and GIS efforts, and because this is the main and the strongest collaboration that we have with the ICBS. Now, since 1991, we mapped the entire country using aerial photographs at a scale of 1 to 40,000. And we also have field survey to determine addresses and give us some more information about point of interest. And our database includes 10 very essential layers. We have a layer of geodetic control. We have a layer of transportation, all the roads, the railways, paved and unpaved roads. A layer of buildings and infrastructure, hydrography, rivers, land cover, elevations. We update our national orthophotograph every year, and that is at resolution of 25 centimeters. And on a daily basis, we maintain the cadastral layer. We have a new layer of marine information, and the administrative boundaries, that's a layer that we maintain, but it is being produced by the Interior Ministry. You see, I've highlighted the land cover layer because that's a layer that we are working together with the Central Bureau of Statistics on establishing a new standard and on establishing a new layer, essentially. Because in the past, we used to have a layer that was mainly used for maps, for cartographic maps, and now we've in the last decade we know that these layers are essentially databases that are being used for analysis, and they're being used by the Central Bureau of Statistics to provide some data and information and knowledge. And so the last 2 years, we've worked together to come up with a standard that has hierarchy, and that's the hierarchy that we have very broad bands or blocks, and that leads into detailed information. And this information will be gathered from other ministries. And moreover, this layer has a logical consistency and has topology so that you could cut it and slice it and get all the information that you want from that layer. That's sort of a short summary of what we are doing with the National Topographic Database. Another important collaboration with the Central Bureau is how do we provide all this data to the citizens. And even with the Survey of Israel, we have about 50 terabytes of data. And that's a lot, and obviously no citizen can take this data and use it. And the important thing is that we provide knowledge. And in order to do that, we know today that maps are important. That's the basic tool to visualize and see things. And therefore, since 2007, we work together with there's a national GIS committee that we work together on the development of the Israeli GeoPortal. And the Israeli GeoPortal has 140 layers from the government. Only 30 of these are from the Survey of Israel. And we keep developing it with the assistance of all the governmental agencies. It has many what we call APIs, software interfaces, so every agency, every ministry can use it for its own benefit. And I'll show some examples. It also has 8 or 10 tailor-made applications to get data and to analyze it. These are the 5 most, I think, important applications that we have. And the first one is with the Census Bureau. We worked very hard with Eyal, who is sitting here, to come up with a very nice, in my opinion, application for citizens to look at and browse through statistical data. It will be in English very soon, but right now it is in Hebrew. You could search, if I go back to the, well, I can't show you this, but the search is basically using natural language engine. So a citizen just type in, I'm looking for information at that address. It zooms into the address and the correct location, and then it could browse through, I think there are maybe 20 main data sets, and it can pick in every theme, it could pick what kind of information it is looking at. And it's, in my opinion, very convenient. We've actually hired a user experience company to help us in designing the experience and how the user interacts with the software. And again, this was not a Survey of Israel project. That is a project that we work, the entire government, together with what we call the GIS committee, and of course the Central Bureau of Statistics is a very strong leader in that committee. I'll show you a few other examples. We've worked with the Transportation Ministry to develop this application of public transportation, and we have all the bus stations and actually all the public transportation stations, and you could pick the time at any location, any bus station. You could pick the time, and it will show the time of arrival, the time of departure. I know that it's a good application because my daughter is using it every morning, so it's working. Another application and a strong collaboration is with the meteorological service, National Meteorological Service, Israeli Meteorological Service. And this application is a real-time application. We get the data on probably hourly basis, and it displays temperature, wind speed, and many other climate variables. And again, that was developed by the agency. We've just provided the infrastructure for the maps and for the technology. And just to close up on the nice presentation that we just saw, we also provide the infrastructure for the Ministry of Environmental Protection. The data is, of course, their data. We don't know much about air quality and so on, but the maps are the Survey of Israel maps. They present their data, as was mentioned here. It's real time, so a citizen can click on the map and on the, for example, air quality station and get the readings as for a few minutes. And we see sometimes we've had a couple of months ago sort of an air contamination or bad smell, and we saw a lot of people logging in and checking what was the reason. Is it me, or is it something that is in the air?
My neighbor.
Yes. So we provide the data, and we work in strong collaboration with the Central Bureau to to make sure that the data is based on good standards and it can be used for the benefit of this organization and many others. We also collaborate on the presentation of the data via the geospatial portal. Now we actually plan next year to even improve this the user interface and built in tools that every organization like the Environmental Protection Agency can use it and won't need to invest in GIS development and so on. We also collaborate on national standards, like you saw, the land use standard, and that's mostly. Thank you.